I'm going to be looking at Awesome Table and the way that we use it in the Hudson School District to track student meetings with the administration and with the counseling staff. We've created a Google form where a administrator or a counselor can track the information from a meeting. That information is put into a spreadsheet with each line representing one meeting with a student and the information that came out of that meeting, and then it's displayed using the Awesome Table website. So I'm going to go through that. So in our form, we may have a person, a counselor or an administrator, reporting on the meeting, the student involved, what grade they are, what kind of meeting it is. If there are any other involved students, can include those. Whatever notes you want to include from that meeting. And whether any contact was made with parents, and every entry into the into the form is then placed into a spreadsheet. And you can see this is the one that just entered. Stan met with Johnny Storm. It was a counseling meeting. There were no other involved students. And you can see that a few other meetings have already been logged in the past. So you can imagine that as these student meetings happen with several different administrators and several different counselors, this spreadsheet can fill up rather quickly. And so if we are interested in what has happened with Johnny, that may require a lot of sorting through this spreadsheet. And it could be done with a filter view in the spreadsheet, but we've chosen in Hudson to do that by using Awesome Table, which allows us a little more flexibility, a little more ease of use on the way that information gets filtered and displayed. So I'm going to go through creating that, and you'll notice this second row here where it says date filter, category filter, string filter, and so on. That information is information required by Awesome Table. So when you are linking a spreadsheet to Awesome Table, the first row will be your headings from the form or wherever it is, the headings for the data. But then data does not start in the second row. Data is going to start in the third row. The second row will be these filters, and there's a few other keywords that can appear here that Awesome Table uses to know how to format this information. So I'm going to go to Awesome Table and create a new view. And they have some templates that are useful to look at. I'm just going to use a blank one and select the spreadsheet that I just had. Awesome Table links to your Google Drive and just immediately pulls in your Google spreadsheets, and it does it by the most recent thing that you have used. So here's my most recent one right at the top, so I'm going to select it. It takes a look at it and automatically figures out what is the right sheet in that spreadsheet to use, and what is the range. You can change these if you only want a certain subset of the data to be included or anything like that. But as a general rule, leaving it all there is a safe bet. And I'm going to create. And you can see the information gets displayed more or less the same as the spreadsheet itself. We've got a row for each thing with all of the data there, a row for each entry in the form. But up at the top we have the ability to filter this according to the data that we're interested in. So first we have a timestamp, so this first thing is the timestamp, the date, and maybe we are only interested in a certain subset of times. Well, nothing between those two times but one thing in there. And as this fills up with more and more days and times, you can narrow it down to a specific window of time. We have a couple drop-down menus for information like who is the reporter. There's Mike and there's Stan. Maybe I only want to see Mike's entries. So I choose that and it shows me just Mike's. I want to clear that filter. I'll just hit this X next to it and it goes away and it gives me everybody's. In the same way, purpose of meeting. It could be a check-in, could be counseling, could be investigation. Maybe I only want to see the counseling. Now I can see just those. Again, I can X that out and it'll show me everything. These remaining ones are places where you can type in information and it'll look for a match in the string of that data. So for students, I'm going to see what Johnny has been up to, but I'm not sure. The reason that this is not a drop-down menu is because I'm not sure that everyone's going to type their name in as Johnny. So some people might put John. So you can see if I just start typing J-O-H, oh, okay, I can see what I've got here. Or maybe I just would type Storm so that I don't have to worry about which one is Johnny, which one's John. And it'll show me all of them. I only want things where Johnny has also had been involved. Okay, it'll just show me those. So you can filter on more than one thing at a time. I want to see all of Johnny's entries as reported by Mike. There's only one of those. But all of Johnny's entries, period, there's two of those. And so this is a good way for us to make sure that one administrator is staying consistent with what another administrator has laid out for a plan in the past. The difference in the way this is laid out, the drop-down menu versus the fields that you can type into, is in that spreadsheet, category filter, the keyword category filter tells AwesomeTable, hey, make this a drop-down menu. String filter says, hey, make this a field I can type into and then just match anything that matches up with that text, that has a substring of that text in it somewhere. Date filter, of course, is this is a date, give me a range of dates that I'm interested in. You can also put some other keywords in here. One that's useful is hidden, which allows us to hide a column of data from the AwesomeTable. So maybe we want to have it in the spreadsheet in case we're really needing it, but we don't want to have it in the AwesomeTable because it may not always be interesting to see. You can hide it, and then if you need that information, you can come over to the spreadsheet to find it. In our actual live spreadsheet that we use in the district, we record the email address of the person who typed it in, but we hide that information from the Awesome table.